Hello and welcome. In this session, we are going to learn how you can create HTML dashboard reports in JMeter from command line as well as from the GUI. So this is going to be very easy, very interesting. And at the end of this session, you will be able to create some very beautiful reports in JMeter. Let me very quickly show you. If I go to Google and search for JMeter dashboard reports, and if I go to images, so you can see these are the kind of reports we will be able to generate. We will get a pie chart, table, and also we will get all these graphs. So here we are going to see how to create a report from command line. I will also show you how you can create a report from an existing CSV result file. Then I will show you how you can study the dashboard reports, and then finally how you can generate the same reports from the GUI of JMeter. So let's get started, and step number one will be let me increase the font for you. Create a test plan, or you can use any existing test plan that you have. So you can create a new test plan or can use any existing test plan. In my case, I will very quickly create a new test plan. So I have a new test plan here. I will add a thread group, and then inside the thread group I'm going to add a sampler HTTP request, and here I'm going to go to this website, that is lifecharger.org. So I will copy this URL. This is my blog and I will add it here, and of course HTTPS will not come here, it will come here. And if it is HTTP, you need not add it, you can skip this, but it is HTTPS, so I will add it. And here only the server name or the IP will come. And then because I'm going to the home page, in the path I will just mention a forward slash, and I will call this as home page, and I will save this. Let me just save it under templates. Then I can just either add another HTML or sampler or HTTP request, or I will just copy and paste the same thing here. And this one I will call this as, I want to go to archives page, so I will call this as archives page. And here I have to go to this path, that is forward slash archives. So this is what I will give here, and that's it. Rest of the things should be same. And then I will again copy. I'm pressing Ctrl C and go to thread group and press Ctrl V, so it will copy and paste. And this I want to go to about page, so that I have 2 or 3 requests to show in the report. And I will call this is about page, and here the path is about. So this is what I have added here. Very simple requests. And I can also add a config element. I can also add a config element for cookie manager and one for cache manager, so that I want to clear the cache on each iteration and I want to clear the cookies on each iteration. And let me keep them at the top here. And now to see the results, I will add a listener. I will add view results tree, and I can increase the number of users. Let us say, let me just keep 1 for now and save and run this to check the results. And I'm running it now. So this is home page, archives page, about page, everything is fine. And if I look at the load time, it is coming around 944 for this one, 1087, and then 2197. Let us say I add a assertion. I will add a assertion here for duration, and I will say it should take between, or it should take less than 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second. And now if I save and run this again, I will keep the duration assertion here and run my test again. Let us see what happens now. And yes, there is one failure because of duration assertion. Again, archives page failed, and only about page was having a load time less than 1000. If I see archives page, it is 1198, home pages 2117. Let me say duration assertion for 1200, and that should be fine. Now let me go and make the the thread or the users to 20 and ramp up time to 10, because now I am going to run it from command line. And also, as I have informed you in the earlier sessions, view results tree is a memory consuming listener. So whenever you are running your actual load or performance test, you can disable it. So I will right click and disable, and you should only use it for creation and debugging or troubleshooting purposes. So we have done step number 1. Now step number 2 is open command line or terminal in case you are on Mac or Linux, and go to JMeter bin folder. So we have to run a command for JMeter. So we will go to the JMeter bin folder from command line. Now if you are on Windows, you can go to your command prompt and then go to the location where your JMeter bin folder is. So wherever you have your bin folder, for example this is my bin folder, I can go here. Also in the earlier session I have shown you that if you add your bin folder in the path environment variable, then you can run the JMeter command from anywhere on your system. In my case it is already added, so I should be able to run from any location. So I will just directly run from here. And then step number 3 will be run commands. Now we have the actual commands, and the command to generate HTML report is, I will say JMeter -n -t, and this is the same as we have seen earlier. This is the general command for JMeter. Let me increase the font and the color. I will change it. Of course, if you are on Linux or Mac, you will say jmeter.sh. In case of Windows, you can directly say jmeter or jmeter.bat -n -t and -l. Now after -t, you will give the location of result file. Sorry, this is location of your test file, that is your JMX file. Then -l, you will give location of your result file wherever you want to add the results, and make sure there is a space. We say -t and a space here, and then we give the location here. And it is good practice to give the location inside quotes. If there are any spaces in the name of any folder within your path, it can break if there are no quotes. Otherwise it will run without quotes as well, but it is a good practice. Again -l and the location of your result file. And now there are two more options or arguments that you will use to generate reports, and that is -e. This will generate your HTML reports or dashboard reports, and -o, this will put the reports in the folder, and you can give the location of reports folder. Now it is not necessary that you should be having a result file and the reports folder already created. Even if it is not created, it will create a new file and a new folder here. Okay, so this is to run or create your reports along with your test creation. And in case you want to generate only the reports using some existing file, in that case you will say jmeter -g and location of your result file here, and this is j in lowercase, and then -o, the location of your reports folder. So this is create report at the end of the test, and then this command is for create report from a standalone CSV file. Now let me show you both of these commands. So I am on my command prompt, and this is my JMeter. I will save, and I have already disabled the view results tree listener, and the location of my file is in my JMeter bin templates folder and homepage.jmx. So I will go here. I will say JMeter, and if you are on Mac, you will say jmeter.sh, or in case of Linux as well. I am on Windows, I will say jmeter -n -t and location of my JMX file. So let me just copy it from here. This is the path, and then I will go to templates, and then I will say I will go to homepage.jmx, and also make sure / works on Windows. If you are on Mac or Linux, you should use a /. Then I will say here -l and give the location of my result file. Now let us say I want to create the result file on the desktop itself. So here I will copy the location of my desktop. Let me just copy until here, and then I will add it here, and I want to name a file, let us say result1.csv. And you can see as of now I do not have any result1.csv file here on my desktop, so it will create a new file. So I will now say this is fine, and now for the reporting I will say -e and -o, and then again location of my report output folder, and again I will give the location on my desktop. You can give any location. I will say report, and that's it. So it will generate a new folder called reports here, and then we'll save the HTML reports there. I will just call it as reports, and that's it. I will run this and let us see what happens now. So it is now running, and you can see it created this result.csv, and as of now this is running, and let us just wait for this to get completed. And we have started getting some data here, the average time, min time, max time, error, and yes, looks like this is done. Although I think most of these are errors, which is fine, we will see this later. Let me go and check the result file first, and here you can see all these results have come here and everything looks okay here. I will close this, and now let me go to the reports folder. So this is our reports folder here, and if I open this, now you can see we have all these data. Then we have a index.html. Open the index.html, and this is our report, and yes, you can see this is the report, and of course you can see this is all showing failure, and I think this is because of the time. So you can see most of these errors are because of the duration assertion, and looks like this is taking a long time. I should go back and actually change the duration assertion to some large value so that it does not fail, or I get a mix of pass and fails. I will save this again, and let me run this one more time. I will delete the report folder and the result file, and let me run again and check. So yes, it has started creating the result file, and we have started getting the results, and of course there are some errors again, but that is fine. This time we should have some past requests as well, and this is done. I will check the reports folder now. I will open the index.html, and yes, you can see there are some pass and some fails, but now we have got a result, and you can see now the dashboard. We have dashboard, charts, and custom graphs. I will first go to the dashboard, and here you will see the overall information, like what is the source file used, the start time, end time, and any filters. And then here you will see a AppDex or application performance index. Now if you click on AppDex, it will take you to a Wikipedia page. So it is a open standard, and it gives us some standards for a performance test. And here you can see here the threshold is 1 second, 500 milliseconds, and this is the toleration and the frustration threshold, and according to that it will give you some reports. Now you can always change this. I will tell you this later. If I go to this graph, you can see a overall summary of your pass and failed requests, and then here you can see your stats. So all your stats, the samples, fail, minimum, maximum time, and all these throughput, everything you can check here. This is a summary, and then all the errors will be shown here, and most of our errors are because of the duration time. Now I will go and go to the charts, and we have overtime chart. So here you can see this is the overtime chart, and you can also see the granularity set is 2 seconds. You can change this. If I go to my bin folder, the JMeter's bin folder, you will see a file called reportgenerator.properties. You can open this in a notepad or any text editor and search for granularity, and here you can see the granularity is set for 2000 milliseconds, that is 2 seconds. Sometimes you will find this is set to a higher value like 60,000, which is actually 1 minute, and in that case, if your performance test is very small and very quick, and you have granularity set for 1 minute, you may not see a very detailed reports here. So you can see here I am getting separate lines for every request like about page, archives page and home page, because it was a very quick test and granularity is 2 seconds. If the granularity is 60 seconds, I will not see a very detailed report. So you can change it from here. And let me also tell you from where you can change the abdex thresholds. If you go to your bin folder and go to jmeter.properties and open it into any text editor, and here search for abdex, you can see these are the thresholds that you can change from here. So you can change all this from here, and I will show you the other configurations later on. But now coming to our graphs, so here is the response time where we have the average response time in milliseconds here, and then this is the elapsed time. So you can see this is how our requests performed, and we can see all the requests separately. You can also filter this out. Suppose I just want to see the about page, I can do it like this. So all this can be done from here. Then we have response time percentile chart, and again we have the filters here, active threads over time. So you can see these are the active threads that we had, and it went to 20 because we have set users to 20, which is the max, and then it has ramped up and then ramped down like this. And then bytes throughput over time, latencies chart we have here, connect time is here for all these three requests. Then I can go to throughput. So you can see the throughput, and here is the number of hits per second and the elapsed time. So you can check all these here. We have code per seconds, then we have transaction per second chart here for each of the requests, and here it will also show you about the failure. So what happened due to failure, you can check from here. Then we have total transactions per second here, response time versus request, and the latency chart here. Then I can go to response times, and here this is very intuitive. You can see your response time percentiles, and then let me come down and check the response time distribution. So this will be very handy. You can check all these response times, so you can see what was the time when your particular request took a large amount of time, and you can then go back and check your logs on the server, or you can hand it over to your performance engineering or dev or networks team to see what actually happened at this position at this particular time, and they can troubleshoot this. We have all this here, so you can also have any of the custom graphs. Now before I show you how you can directly create from a result file, let me also take you to the JMeter website. So if I go to JMeter, that is jmeter.apache.org, and go to user manual, and here you will see step number 14 for dashboard report. If you go here, you can see all the details about the dashboard report, the overview, and all these charts. You can see the details and all the configurations here. Then if you want to configure the dashboard report, you can see all these options that you can use for configuration. So here you can do all types of configuration for your report. You have all these general settings, the title, date, start and date. You can see the granularity that we have set, and all these options are here. The graph settings are also here. In case you want to do any changes, you can do that. Export settings are here. Then specific properties for graph, filtering, everything is here, all these configurations. And then these are our commands that we are already learning, that is how to generate a report after load test, and we have already seen this. And then if you want to generate from an existing sample CSV file, this is what you will do, -g and -o, and this is what we are going to learn, that how you can create the same report from a existing result file. So let me just now say I already have my result file, which is result1.csv, and I want to generate a report from this file. So in this case, I will say, let me clear everything, and I will say jmeter -g and the location of my result file. So I can say here result1.csv. Sorry, this is result. So result1.csv and then -o, and I will give the location of my report folder. So let me create a new folder, reports 1 and hit enter, and you will see reports 1 folder is created. And if I go inside and check the report, you will see the same report here. So this we can generate even without running the load test if we already have the report file with us. So we have seen all these. Let me also show you how you can generate the same report from GUI. So just in case required, you can go to your JMeter GUI and go to tools, and then here we have option generate HTML report. You can give the CSV or the GTL file location. You can browse here. You can also browse your user.properties file, which will be in your jmeter.bin folder. So in your bin folder, you will see this user.properties file, and then you can also give the output directory or the folder where the report will be generated. So let me try this. I will browse my report file which is on my desktop. So I'll go to my desktop and I will select result1.csv. Let me just use the output directory. I will say reports2 and let me click on generate. Yeah, I need to specify the user.properties as well. So I will go to my JMeter bin folder, which is in my D drive tools. I have JMeter folder here and then bin folder, and this is my user.properties file. Open, and now let me generate the report. So it is saying generating report, and now it is created. If I go and check on my desktop, yes, I have this reports2 folder generated, and this is my report generated here. So this is how I can generate the reports, the HTML dashboard report from command line and GUI. I hope this was very useful for you. Please do some more hands-on and let me know if you face any issues. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching.